Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Olivia and I post videos about lifestyle, beauty, fashion, social media, bunch of fun stuff. Today I am going to be talking about how I got into commercial acting as one of my career paths, and also my best advice for you guys on where to start if that is something you're interested in. But before we get into that, I would like to thank Glamnetic for sponsoring this video. I am going to do a first time try on with these magnetic lashes. I'm very excited. So let's get into it. I have the code, a discount code, and the website to shop in my description below, so you can check it out there. Okay, so this is the set Pixie. Oh, it's like taped down. Not me using a cuticle cutter to open this. It's probably not good. Okay, so I've never used these types of lashes before, so this is gonna be a very authentic try on with me. And the magnetic liner I'm using is Cocoa Dreams. So let's try this baby out. This is, oh god, this is nerve-wracking. Okay, my lashes are like kind of curled already and I can't see my lines, so I need to like put them down. What a crazy concept. Is it not? I guess I need to do it on my whole lash so that it'll stick. Oh my god. Okay, first one, not bad for an on-camera liner. Okay, this is the hard part. Ooh, messed that up a little bit. Oh, she's like on there. Okay, that's my fault. I got a little cocky with it. Okay, liner, magnetic liner is on. Is it the best liner I've ever done? No, but we're gonna roll with it. Here we go. We're gonna put these babies on. Oh gosh, this is so exciting. Oh, ah! Okay, here we go. Wow, no way. Are they on? I can't tell. That is actually crazy. Okay, I need to put a little bit more liner on the inside of my eye, but that is insane how it just sticks. Wow, we're really in 2022. I almost forgot what year it was. Okay, let's try that again. Now that we have it on my full lash line. Oh, let me do this with a mirror right here. Maybe that would be smart. Wow. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. Let's try the other one. And just like that, my eyelashes are on. That's actually insane. They're just magnetized to my eyeliner. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Glamnetic, for sponsoring this video. This is so super cool. Now let's get into it. Okay, so if you're here from TikTok, I know I got a lot of questions about like how I got into it, just questions about the industry in general. So I'm gonna start off answering some just like basic preliminary questions and addressing some things as well. So first I want to say that I have had a lot of luck in this industry. I know that's not the case for everyone, and I'm very, very, very grateful for the success I have had. I attribute it to a few things. One, I'm in the right location. I'm in Miami. So many productions are happening down here. And also it's like the perfect mix for me to be like a big fish in a small pond versus when I went to LA. I really didn't book anything because there's just so much more talent out there that looks like I do and has a very similar look to mine, which is like ethnically ambiguous, mixed, half Asian. You get the idea. So here I don't have as much competition, and of course that means like casting directors and these creative agencies who are doing the commercials and the productions, they have slimmer pickings. Not saying that that's why, like I think I'm also good at like what I do in the commercial world and I'm confident in my like acting abilities, but I also know that that helps tremendously because I got a lot of comments on the TikTok saying like, you know, this isn't as profitable for everyone as it is for you. I'm in LA, I've been doing auditions for 5 years and I haven't booked anything, and I totally get that. And that is something that everyone needs to take into consideration, is like their look, their location, and how much competition is in their area. A good rule for thumb is I say go on 10 castings. You're lucky if you get a call back for 1. That's the way it was for me for years before I started really getting consistent with my bookings. And then like at that point it was kind of more often, maybe once every 2 months or once a month I was working on sets. So, but before that, before I like got on my good roll, I would go on so many auditions and never hear back. So it's really just something you have to fully accept, that there's gonna be a lot of rejection and you cannot take any of it personally. I am with a commercial agent down here. Their name is Stellar Talent. I've been with them since I was 16. Highly recommend. If you guys want me to put in a referral for you, I'm happy to. I've connected so many of my friends and like model friends who want to get more into commercial acting with Stellar. So I'm very happy with their representation. And yeah, I got a lot of questions of just like who my agency was down here. I got a lot of questions on what it means to have a good look. So I kind of just want to dive into this a little bit. Having a good look is like, it's hard for commercials because it's not like modeling where it's like you need to be a minimum 5'6", you need to have straight teeth, you need to have clear skin. Like acting is much more open in a sense that they're casting so many different types of characters for so many different types of scenarios. Like there's a commercial of every scenario, like, you know, in the grocery store, running a marathon, driving a car, like every real life and even like fantasy life. But there's such a wide range of situations that they could be looking to cast for. So, you know, they don't really discriminate on age, race, body type. Like they're looking for a really wide range of different looks, which is great. Having a good commercial look, I would say, is just having like a polished look, having a strong smile is definitely will like benefit you. It's not a deal breaker. It's not like a make or break, but it definitely would help. And sometimes, you know, having like, if you're a man, having a clean face is good, but sometimes they want like a grown-out beard. So it really just depends. Like I said, there's so many different things that they're looking for that it's great for everyone. But I would say just having like normal-ish features. Like a lot of times they want you to be kind of attractive, but the thing is they want you to be relatable. So that's the most important thing. And relatable, I would say, comes before attractiveness. In this industry, a lot of times on my audition notes, it will say not the model type. Like they want you to be pretty, but not too pretty to where it's unattainable for the viewer, because they want people, you know, if it's a Comcast commercial and you're a Comcast customer, they want people watching the commercial to feel like they can relate to you and that the person in the commercial is just like them. So that's kind of the intention behind not wanting people to look like supermodels in all of their commercials. Okay, that was kind of just like my preliminary brain dump of a few topics, but now I'm gonna get into a few different things on how you can start if you want to get into this. One, who should consider it? I think if you live in a major city or close to a major city, it's definitely something you could consider. And this is because if you live like in a very middle of nowhere town, it doesn't make much sense. They're not doing castings there, and they're not filming there either. So it just doesn't make sense. If you're on a quick plane ride to a major city, like an hour plane ride or a few hour drive, then I would definitely consider it. For auditions, you could do a lot of self-tapes if you were to learn how to do a self-tape, which is basically auditioning from home so that you don't actually have to go in. For example, I'm not in Miami, but I'm close to Miami, but not like super close where it's just a 10-minute drive. So a lot of times I'll ask my agent, instead of going into the in-person casting, I ask if I can just do a self-tape, and a lot of times that's fine. It really depends on your agency and also the casting director if they are accepting self-tapes, but that's an option for someone who doesn't want to have to take a flight or take a 2-hour drive every single time you get an audition. But if you were to do a self-tape audition and then you do a Zoom callback, because a lot of times callbacks are through Zoom now post-COVID, you could hop on a 2-hour flight and the job would hopefully be worth it for you because you would be getting paid enough where it would cover the cost of the flight. Also, I would say if you're someone who's already pretty comfortable in front of the camera and already naturally not a shy person, this is great for you to consider. If you are already a shy person, not good under pressure, I don't know if this is for you. Of course, you could work on it and push yourself outside of your comfort zone, but if you want to succeed in this industry, you have to be able to perform in a room full of people and not shrivel up and get nervous. Of course, that will come with time. I don't want to scare any of you away, but you have to be able to like work under pressure and not care that 20 people are staring at you, because sometimes on set, that's how it is. You have a crew of 30 people and everyone's quiet and everyone's looking at you performing the action. So definitely, you know, consider this if you're naturally already outgoing and not afraid to be the center of attention. Okay, next I'm gonna get into where to start. First, you want to look into signing with an agency. You can work without an agency and be unrepresented. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Maybe to start, if you wanted to start, there's websites like Casting Networks and Backstage where you can kind of like apply for the website. I'm actually not exactly sure how it works, but I know when I was in LA, I was self-submitting myself for stuff because my agency sucked out there. So there are websites where you can self-submit without an agency. It's just, it might be a little bit harder, and the castings and auditions that you go on might be open to more people. It might be more of like a cattle call versus like a requested audition. So when you have an agency, usually they will submit you to the client, and then the client will make a first round of selections that they want to see at their audition. So when you go to the audition, it's not like they've never seen you before. It's not like they don't know who you are. They've already chosen you from a pre-selected list. So it's like you're one step ahead by going on those castings that you were requested for. And that's the benefit of being with an agency. Also, in agencies, they're advocate for you. They're there to negotiate higher rates if needed. They're there to tell the production company that you need to be offset by a certain time. So of course they are representing you, and that it always feels like a more protected way to go, just in case anything were to happen. It's not just you versus the production company, it's your agency involved too, and they're there to really stand up for you and look out for your best interest. So once you find out if there's an agency by you, if I were you guys, you can do a quick Google search and be careful of scams. I know there's a lot of scams out there, but I would just try to look for agencies with good reviews. I would try to look for other talent that's signed with those agencies and either find them on Facebook or Instagram or some sort of social media, reach out to them and see if they will vet the agency and just make sure it's legit and not a scam. You do have to go a little FBI mode, but it's worth it because you don't want to obviously get scammed. A good rule for thumb, I think, is that you should never have to pay to enter an agency. From my experience at least, I've never heard of someone having to pay to even get into an agency. You might have to pay an initial deposit for things that are like photo related. Like you may have to pay for comp cards or pay to be listed on their website, but it really shouldn't be like more than $100, or even that is a little high. But that, I have to say, just use your best judgment, but be aware because there are scams out there. So just go full FBI mode and make sure you're not getting scammed. Once you do find an agency or multiple agencies, I would definitely say try reaching out to multiple ones, not just one. Usually there's a place on their website where they'll say like work with us or submit. And at that point, you can submit online, or you can give them a call, or you can send them an email. I believe in emails. I think it's the best way to go. So you can do an email introducing yourself, say you're interested in getting into it. And also I would provide them with some headshots. If you don't already have professional headshots, this is super, super important. I would not try to reach out to an agency before taking professional headshots. They need to know what you look like on a professional camera. Don't submit an iPhone photo and don't submit a selfie. Some agencies look at that, sure, to see what you look like, but if you want them to take you seriously, invest in a photographer for a test shoot, they're called. They're usually lower than like a full day shoot. A test shoot maybe includes like a few different looks, lifestyle, headshots, things like that. Look up some photographers in your area and definitely have those ready to go and, you know, do a range of smiling, serious. You can even do different looks like dress up as a doctor or just like different scenarios as a salesperson, business casual. They want to see you in different characters and see how you would fit into the roles. So definitely get professionally shot headshots and some lifestyle photos too. And that way when you submit to the agency, they know you're legit, they know you're gonna take this seriously, and they know you're going to be a professional about it and that you're not an amateur. At that point, they might ask you to come in to meet them in person because they want to make sure that you are a real human and that you know how to have a conversation and can hold yourself well and be professional. So they might reach back out to you and set up a time for you to come in. And then from there, you just meet with them. You'll probably just tell them about yourself and a little bit about your work history. Don't be scared if you're completely new to this. Just own up to it and be transparent and say, I'm completely new to this, but I think I would be really good at it. And also say that you're open to doing training and getting some practice in. They might have some classes and some courses for you to take, like beginners acting courses or how to audition courses. And I would definitely invest in something, maybe 1 or 2 classes, just so that you know exactly what you're signing up for and that you don't walk into an audition completely having no idea what's happening. Okay, moving on to how to audition / what an audition is like for a commercial. So how to audition, usually they will give you a wardrobe to come to the casting. Like today, my wardrobe, the role I'm auditioning for is a flight attendant. So they want me in like a button-down shirt. So usually they will always tell you what to wear if it's like, you know, a summery beach vibe or they want to see you in a bathing suit. They will typically always tell you what to wear to the auditions. As far as hair and makeup, you definitely want to keep it on the natural side. I keep my nails pretty much natural all the time because they don't want to see long acrylic nails that are neon green. It's just not a part of the commercial look. Like they want it to be very natural, very subtle, very real life. And that goes for jewelry too. Like I probably wouldn't even wear these. I just wear really small, simple hoops, maybe a little thin necklace, and nothing crazy at all. Basically, you don't want to distract from yourself. So by wearing like big, huge hoop earrings or really chunky, distracting jewelry, it's gonna take away from you and it's gonna make it harder for them to imagine you playing the role. So usually you go into an audition and there will be either the client, typically the client's not there on the first audition, usually it's just a casting director, maybe some other casting directors. You go in, you stand in front of a camera, and then the people are behind the camera, and then you introduce yourself and they'll give you direction on what to do. Usually you're playing out a scene. All the commercials I've done have been non-verbal. I've had a line once and it was like years ago. I've had a few lines here and there, but 90% of the commercials I do are non-verbal. So all the acting is non-verbal. So it's really just in like subtle facial expressions, subtle reactions to things, you know, some full body stuff if you're like shopping. Like when I auditioned for Home Depot, they had me pick up a plant, pretend to look at it, and like imagine it in my home, like, you know, stare at it for a second and then put it down and keep walking. So the casting director will always tell you what to act out, and they'll probably have you do it 2 or 3 times. They might tell you to change direction on it or that was good. But before you even do that, you do something called a slate. So saying a slate is your name, usually your height and your agency that you're with, and then you show your profiles. So you'll turn all the way to one side, you'll turn all the way to the other side, you'll look back at the camera, and then typically you always show your hands. This is to show that you have all 10 fingers, which I recently found that out. I thought it was to like make sure that you could be a hand model, which I'm sure it is too, but that's to make sure that you have all your 10 fingers. I guess it's more common to be missing a finger than I thought. Anyways, if you guys look up on YouTube like how to do a good slate, I'm sure a ton of videos will pop up, but that is basically your introduction to the client, and I'll do mine for you right now. Hi guys, my name is Olivia Pascal. I'm 5'6" and I'm with Stellar Talent. And then I turn this way, I look at the camera, and then I turn this way. I always like put my hair behind my ear so you can see like my full profile. Look at the camera, go like this, and then smile. And that's it. It's really easy. You just have to get a hang of it and practice on how to have a good one and how to feel confident when you say it, because that's really your first impression. With that being said, here are my tips for booking a commercial or booking any job really. 1, confidence is key. They are looking for someone who can come on set day of and kill it, who takes direction well, who is professional, who's not distracted, who's not loud. They want you to come in, do your job and do it well and get out, because they have a very strict schedule to follow. So if you are not confident in yourself, they won't be confident in you either. So confidence is key. If you don't feel confident, fake it till you make it. That is the way to do it. I have been on so many auditions where I am intimidated, I am nervous, I want to run the other way and walk out. You know, there's like other people, and you really just have to fake it till you make it. And they won't be able to tell the difference between your fake confidence and real confidence. So go in there and just take up space. You know, there's a fine line. You don't want to be too loud and too aggressive to where it's off-putting, but you also want to walk in with your shoulders back, your head held high, and show and just kind of like radiate that confidence so that they can feel it and they feel confident in you that you're gonna get the job done. So for me, every time I walk into an audition room, I walk in, I address the casting director or the clients. As soon as I walk in, I look at them in their eyes. It shows that you're not scared, you're not shy, and you're not timid. I look them in the eyes, I say, hey guys, how are you doing today? I'm doing great, thanks so much for having me. And it's really important to maybe project slightly more than you normally would. Like, I am a very actually soft-spoken person when you get to know me, and you have to use a different voice in that room to take up space. So if I walk in, I'm like, hi guys, how are you? Hi. One, they can't hear me. 2, they're not gonna, my dog. 2, they're not gonna book me. So walking in as a different version of yourself is the best idea. Not, obviously you want to be yourself. Ellie, what are you doing? Uh-oh, she's asking for dinner. It's too early for dinner, mama. Of course you want to be yourself. Don't try to be anyone else, but you do want to be like a little bit more of an extroverted version of yourself who is just performing. So once you take up space, you also need to be able to take direction well. So say you do it the first time and then they're like, okay, great. Can we see a more animated version of what you just did? You need to make sure that you do a more animated version. Nothing extreme, but something more than what you just did. And knowing how to take direction well is such like, it's almost like a soft skill that you kind of just have to practice and be able to pick up on. I don't know, some people have it and some people don't, but that is so, so important to know exactly how much and how little to change, whether it's in your vocal range or in your facial expressions or in your body language, whatever it is. Just work on listening to exactly what the constructive criticism is and applying it immediately. Don't do it another time just like you did it and then wait until the third time to do it differently. Do it as soon as they said something, you need to change how you did it. And my last note on this is be pleasant, be professional, and be friendly. People don't want to work with divas. They don't want to work with obnoxious people. They don't want to work with mean people. So my best advice is just any interactions you have in that audition room, you know, they might ask you, oh, where do you live? What are your hobbies? Do you have any experience doing this or that, rollerblading, hiking, whatever it is? And in that interaction, you want to just be pleasant and friendly and professional and be someone that they want to have on set. Sometimes the jobs that you end up booking are like 3-day long shoots, and they want to know that there's like a good mix of personalities if you're working with other people too. And it's really important to see, especially when casting like a group of friends, for example, it's really important that they see personalities mesh really well, because that's going to show on the camera too. So having that like natural chemistry and just being an overall just like good person and fun to be around and lovely is going to heighten your odds of getting booked. Next up, I'm going to talk about union versus non-union. So Florida is a work for hire state. This means that the jobs that they do don't have to be union, they can be non-union work. And I know in LA it is mostly, if not all, union jobs, which is SAG-AFTRA. I think that's how you say it. I usually just say SAG. But I don't know if there are non-union jobs in LA or if it's strictly only union, but the difference between the two are when a union job pays residuals and a non-union job, I mean, there's a lot of other difference, but pay-wise, this is the difference. Non-union jobs will do a buyout. So basically, there's two parts of a commercial that you get paid for. The first being the work day, and that's basically the payment you get to show up on set and do a 12-hour day, typically. So that's the first part of the payment. The second part of the payment is the usage, and that is what they are paying you to use your image on the whatever platform that they're choosing to run this advertisement. It could be broadcast, which is on TV. It could be only online and social media. It could be just for a website. And so there's the medium in which the ad will be run, and then there's also the time frame in which the ad will be run. So the usage could be broadcast for a year or social media for 2 years. So those are the things that they take into consideration when you talk about usage. So when you do a buyout, they will pay you a flat fee. Typically in Florida, it's $2,000, give or take. They'll give you $2,000 for a 1-year buyout on all media platforms. So that's broadcast, internet, website, social media. Whatever they want for a year, they are paying you for that usage. If you do a union commercial, you get paid off of residuals for the usage. So every time that ad plays, you get money for it. I don't know how much at all. There's like a whole breakdown spreadsheet of it. I have no idea how much it is, but it's usually a decent amount. Typically, union jobs are way more well-paying than non-union jobs. My Home Depot commercial was a union job, and let's just say I put the down payment on my duplex with that job. Thank you, Home Depot. And then I gave it all back to them because I renovated for like 6 months and it all went back to them. But anyways, regardless, you guys get the point. So that's the major difference between union work and non-union work. So this is important to consider because I can book a job down here and maybe make $1,000 for the day rate, $2,000 for the usage. So it's a $3,000 job overall. I could work for the same exact company, but they're shooting in LA, and I could make $20,000 from the same job because of the usage and because they're union and they're paying residuals. So that's a huge thing to consider. That's, you know, also why it's more competitive in LA. It's why it's harder to book stuff in LA. So it's not uncommon for an actor or actress to book like one commercial and to be making residuals for the next 10 years off of it if they're running it for 10 years. Or booking like a Super Bowl commercial is like probably 30 grand. I've heard people make 100 grand, like just actors in the industry down here. If you book a Super Bowl commercial, you can probably make up to 100 grand, if not more, just because of the usage. And it's such a high viewed program that they are paying that much more for usage. Like a Times Square advertisement would pay more for usage. A billboard would pay more for usage because more eyes are seeing it. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying my best to explain it. Okay, that wraps up union versus non-union. Hope it wasn't too confusing. The last part of this video, I want to talk about modeling and acting for kids because I did get a lot of questions about that too. I started when I was 9 and I think it was the best thing ever because, well, one, I'm the one who wanted to get into it. It's not like my mom was like, oh, I want you to get into modeling. I had a friend in 1st grade who was doing it, and I saw her doing it and I was like, I want to model. So that's originally how I started. I think it's so great for kids, of course, if they want to do it. I don't think parents should force kids to do it because that is just a nightmare, and kids who don't want to be there are a nightmare to work with. So they have to want to show interest, but I think it's amazing. One, I think they learn how to be professional at a very young age, and that it's invaluable. 2, they learn how to take direction on set, and of course they can apply that to the rest of their life, just taking direction well, maybe in the workplace, or how to work with teams and how to work with partners. And of course, for monetary reasons, having a kid grow a savings account with their own money that they are working for and they're earning is invaluable. I started my savings account when I was a kid, and that's the account. I grew up with a single mom, so it's not like I come from a bunch of money. I definitely do not. We struggled a lot growing up, but because of that savings account that I had from modeling, I was able to do things like take my senior trip in high school and buy my first car. So of course it would help out, you know, how you choose to use your child's modeling money is completely your business and up to you. But if you are in a place where you can give them a savings account to start saving at a young age, I think that's amazing and definitely something that should be taken into consideration. Okay, you guys, I have been rambling. My brain hurts, but I needed to explain this in like a longer form content than TikTok. I tried making like different parts to a series on TikTok, but I feel like this is so much easier to just sit down and watch and get through it all at one point, at one time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm happy to make more videos about this. Make sure to give this a thumbs up and make sure to smash that subscribe button. And I will see you guys next week for another video. Bye!